So I was just doing the live video and it cut off on me. It said that the Wi-Fi connection wasn't very good, but then it never connected back. So here I am again. So just wait for everyone to come back on. Hopefully you'll join me again. Yeah, so I was just explaining in the other one, I was doing my morning meditation as usual. And for the last few years, in fact, I was guided to focus more on myself. So less on clients and my business, and connecting in with other people and more on what was going on inside of me, because I had lots of layers of healing to do on myself. And for the first time this morning, as I was meditating, my higher self said it's time to connect in with other people again. And so what I've been doing is giving psychic readings for people, giving like mini readings, little guidance from your higher self, just to show people what I do, because it's my preferred way of marketing myself, showing people what I do, because it's actually helpful. It's like, why pay Facebook or for other advertising and have to do all of that marketing material and stuff when I've got myself and amazing things like this Facebook Live to get in touch with people. Hey, Gianji. I hope I'm saying your name right. Am I saying your name right? Gianji. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, there was a disconnect. It said that the Wi-Fi was weak and then it cut out. And yeah, it's monsoon season here in Thailand, so you can see it's raining behind me. Hopefully it's not going to be raining all day and I'm going to be able to get out of the house. How awesome. Gyeonggi. That's a really pretty name. And yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so connecting in with people. So been told to connect in with people again. And so yeah, I'm going to be doing these little mini messages from your higher self. And if you want to ask a question about your path, or any question, in fact, of your higher self, then you can ask on here. I'm going to be, hey, Kate, how are you? I'm going to be doing these regularly now. So I heard in my meditation this morning, which is cool. Hello. Yeah, so a great way to connect in with people. And so I'm going to be writing a blog. I keep on putting it off, right? Because I gave up drinking alcohol about 5 months ago, and was really firm on that about 2 months ago. So I did have a few slip-ups, and they were really important to me because it showed me. Anyway, I'll write all about it. But the reason I haven't written about it yet, I keep on saying that I'm going to write about it, is because there's so many layers of it. There's so many benefits of it that are revealing themselves. It's almost a daily thing. And so I don't want to write about it too soon before I can talk about all of the benefits that I'm getting from it. But yeah, it's been huge for me. It's been huge. So watch out for that blog that's coming up shortly when I finally get the guidance to write that one when it's time. So if you'd like a little mini message from your higher self, then just pop up a message and I'll do that for you. And if you want to have a question answered by your higher self as well, just post that in the comments and I can do that for you too. Because it's monsoon season here, we get a lot of power cuts, and so that trips the Wi-Fi. So if I suddenly disappear, it's monsoon's fault. Because the wires here, I don't know if any of you have been to Thailand, but the electrical system is quite funny, the way that they rig it up. So there's all of these, it's like a tangle of wires down every road. But what happens is it rains, the trees get heavy, they lean on the wires, cuts off the electricity. Sometimes it sets fire to the trees as well, which is always fun. So yeah, if you'd like a little message from your higher self, then just pop up a comment. Can I see them? Oh, it's not scrolling. Okay. I'm now thinking nobody's saying anything. Hey, Suzanne. So just a general message for everybody first. Okay, so you know how often spiritual people will think, or in traditional spiritual practices and religions, it's kind of been said that wanting things, wanting materialistic things, is not a good thing. It's like an ego thing, and to move away from your ego. Whereas what I've found, and what a lot of other people have found, and a lot of other teachers have found, is that when you actually go for things, it develops you, because you've got to grow to get those things. You've got to be in match. You've got to be in alignment with those things to be able to get it. So it's like a growth path. Every time you want something, you've got a growth path to it, unless you're already aligned with it, and then it just manifests instantly. And so the message for everybody here is that if you're going for what you want to do, specifically what you want to do and who you want to be, that's your highest growth path. And so that's actually going to take us forward. Awesome. So let's do, yeah, it's daytime here, Anna. It's morning, so I've just got up, done my morning meditation. I'm just having my coffee right now, and I'm doing the Facebook Live. So this is Thailand. Sawadee ka. Okay, Johnny, first of all, asked not a specific question, but in general, what my higher self wants me to know right now, which is always the best way to be, you know. Sometimes people will come to me for readings, and they're like, they want a reading about career, and the higher self doesn't want to tell them about career at all. It wants to tell them about relationships or something, or the opposite way around. So it's always good to be open. Jianji, when you're trying to get people to appreciate you, generally it's not going to work. And it's not because you're not appreciated. It's because when you don't have that really high level of self-love within yourself and self-appreciation, you're going to get reflected back to you how you're feeling about yourself. And so that means that you attract lots of people around you that are not appreciating themselves and can't appreciate other people either, to a certain level. You know, there's so many different levels of that. And so once you raise up your self-love, you expect those people to be able to appreciate you. And that doesn't happen, because they can't. Generally, they're not on the same path as you, and they're not raising themselves up at the same time. So it can get frustrating trying to get that appreciation off them. And the trick is not to try, because it's overwhelming to do that. Impossible things are overwhelming. When you feel overwhelmed, it's because you're trying to do impossible. So don't look for them. Don't look to them to get that appreciation. Just have it within yourself, and then allow it to come from anybody. Once you let go of trying to get the appreciation from the wrong people, it'll become so much easier and so much more rewarding too. So it's that the key, Janji, is that feeling of overwhelm shows you that you're trying to do the impossible. And so back off from that. Nina, hello. Nina's next. Oh, there's a bit of a theme. I'll just drop one of the cards. So I use these cards. I've got this bag with elephants on. And these little cards, and they've got, I've got like, I don't know how many decks. I kept on buying more and more decks, so that there's probably about 4 or 5 decks in here. It's just got like single words on them. And it gives me a key to connecting with your higher self. It keeps me on track, really. It stops me from jabbering. So Nina, not Tina, Nina. Bit of a theme. It's about self-appreciation. And it's about abundance, right? So self-love is the key to everything, I'm learning. And how funny, isn't it, that was Louise Hay's thing. And we've got really similar names. I would love to know why she chose my name, because she actually changed her name, whereas mine is my real name. I'd love to know why she did that, and where she got that guidance to do that from. Yeah, so self-love is key to everything, because the universe will give back to you. The world gives back to you a reflection of how you're feeling about yourself. So it's not so much what you're giving out to other people, it's what you're giving to yourself. And so, as I said to Gionji, you get back the level of self-respect from other people that you have. And you get the appreciation that you have for yourself back. So for you, Nina, your higher self is connecting this to abundance, because you can't get abundance if you're not appreciating yourself. It's like, it's like the kid that doesn't think they deserve anything, just won't get it. And if you've seen like people that really have that low self-esteem, and you see that they'll even say no to things that they actually want. You can offer them something and they'll say no. And so they just don't let it in. And so that's the key. It's like, if you don't have that level of self-appreciation, and then you try and grab abundance will run. Abundance is, okay? It just is. It's like gravity. It's like the sun, it just is. There's nothing that you need to do to make it happen. But it's a reflection of you. And so you try and grab that abundance, and it's going to run from you. It's like trying to make the sun come up in the morning. It's trying to make something fall when you drop it. You don't need to. It just does. It just is. So focus on that, appreciating yourself. One way you can do that is focus on your strengths. The society tends to teach us to look at our flaws. If you think about school, the way that we're schooled is all about looking at your flaws and looking at what isn't right in you, and then improving on that. And that's a really self-destructive way of being. We all have these unique strengths, and if we can focus on what our strengths are and really focus on that and appreciate that in ourselves, then that's going to lift you higher. So do more of that, and the abundance will come as a reflection of you. Sometimes it's easier for people to understand abundance when they think of it as an abundance of relationships, right? Because when you're really loving yourself and you're not trying to make the wrong people love you, you're not looking for love in the wrong places, you meet people that love you more. And you can't do anything to force that. And so everyone knows that people kind of come randomly into their lives. It's not random at all, but people trust that, because it's like you believe that someone else has some kind of power over that. The other person is involved in it too. And so it makes sense that you'll meet the right people when you're feeling a certain way about yourself. Everything else is like that, everything. Any kind of abundance. Hey, Chris. Hi, May Reed. Am I saying your name right? Kate's next. Kate, how do I say your surname? Nazarlese? Nazarlese? Is it? Nazarlese. Is it Italian? Kate. So important for us to connect in with our higher selves in meditation, or just listening to our heart, or listening to our own ideas, rather than trying to follow the signs that are outside of us. Yeah. So it can be really tempting to follow signs that are outside of ourselves over what's in our heart or what's in our own connection. Your higher self is asking you not to do that. So not to look for external signs so much, but to go for it within yourself. And that's because you've got ideas. You've already got that connection, Kate. We both know that. I've read for you a few times. And you already have the ideas that are right for your path. What's tripping you up is other people and how they fit into it. So you're trying to be a chameleon when it comes to fitting your path and your ideas in with other people that you're intimate with. Yeah. So your higher self is asking you to trust it and trust the universe that your ideas are aligned with every part of your life, including your relationships too. So trust that rather than you trying to manage other people, other relationships, and how they're going to respond to what you're doing. Just keep on doing what you're doing and they're all going to fit in if they're aligned with you. There you go. That's a good one. May read, just how can I move forward? One foot in front of the other. Now, seriously though, it's step by step. It's always just the next step. I'm amazed, right? So sometimes I'll ask for big things, sometimes I'll ask for small things from the universe. And I've stopped, in the most part, I've stopped trying to make that path myself, trying to make it happen myself. In fact, yeah, that's what your higher self is saying too. You can't make it happen yourself. You just ask the universe for what you want, then it gives you the path to it. And the path to it is way easier than you think, because all you need to do is that first step toward it, and then the universe takes the next step. You will have had this happen. Yeah, your higher self is saying you've had this happen in your life before. You've asked for something. You've taken one step toward it, so something that you think will take you there, and then it hasn't happened. And then you might have got really annoyed at that and then given up. And at the moment that you've given up, that's when it comes to you. Yeah. So there's that surrender. So if you can trust more that that path is there for what you've asked for, and all you need to do is take the first step and then surrender until the next step comes along. Because the universe and your higher self, it's going to bring it to you. It's going to bring that next step to you, or the actual thing itself, when the time's right. So yeah, trust more, and find more peace within yourself. That will help you move forward. Rosanna, I'm on Koh Tao in Thailand, Turtle Island. I've lived here for 2 years and 3 months now, I think. I love this place. It's been so good for me too. I love the Thai culture. I love the way that they are. They're so, they're emotionally transparent, right? And so if you've ever been to Thailand, or if you've heard of other people that have been to Thailand, some people might say that the Thais are crazy and that it's a really dangerous place. Some people might say that the Thais are amazing and it's just an amazing place. Because they really reflect back to you emotionally how you are yourself. So if you're an open person, you're really nice to them, they are amazing, absolutely amazing people. And if you're not, then they will show you their emotions explicitly. Like, if you annoy them, then they go crazy. And I find this really refreshing, right? Because they're so honest, they're emotionally honest. And the cultures, I'm from England and then moved to Australia. And those cultures are very much about hiding your emotions. And to me, that's way scarier, like way scarier. Oh. See, now I've lost the comments because there's so many comments. Okay, let's start with what I can see. Sandra, what does your higher self want you to know? You have to be faster. It must cut off the comments after a certain time. Sandra, judgment, self-judgment, judgment about other people and judgment about yourself. It's not a good thing. It separates you from what you really want. It separates you from your higher self because your higher self isn't doing that. Now, saying that, discernment is a great thing. So if you find yourself judging other people about something, it's likely that you either had that in yourself or you have that in yourself. So you're judging yourself for the same thing and you don't want to admit it. And so when you realize that and then ask yourself, how is it that I'm judging myself for this same thing? Then you can actually do something about it. Now, once you've been through that, so for example, with alcohol and me, years ago, I would say I had a real problem with it. In the last few years, it's just been a habit, drinking once a week or something. And the people that I had around me, a lot of alcoholics, a lot of people with problems with alcohol, a lot of people with emotional problems causing them to drink it. Just finished my coffee. And I got to the point where I was still like going out and drinking once a week or something, but I was judging those people that were around me in the guise of wanting to help them, but it really wasn't. You don't help people by judging them. And I thought that I was different than them. I couldn't make that connect of how it was that I was judging myself for the same thing, but it was alcohol. It was the alcohol that was the thing. And there was something in there too about me being used to alcoholics because of my upbringing and always being around those people, so they felt normal. Anyway, I'm going to write a huge blog about my whole alcohol journey. And so, yeah, look at yourself, see how you're judging yourself. And once you've cleared that within yourself, once you stop judging yourself like that, or make the changes that you need to make to eliminate that from yourself, then you need to practice discernment. Yeah. So it wasn't enough for me to just stop judging these people. I actually needed to get away from them. I'm not the alcoholic whisperer. I can't stick around people like that and be anything to them. It's where I've come from. And so then discernment. So discernment is different than judgment, but discernment kind of comes after judgment once you've cleared that within yourself. Amy Wall is next. Sorry for those that I've missed because I wasn't fast enough. Rambling on. Amy Wall. I said the same last one. I spoke about self-appreciation before. And one of the indicators of self-appreciation is that you rest, that you have lots of balance in your life. Someone's really loving themselves and appreciating themselves when they rest a lot and they give themselves what they need. You're not loving yourself and appreciating yourself when you're running around doing things for other people, filling your life up and all of that. Things flow by themselves. This is one of the biggest lessons that I got early on. So I was working in corporate when I was in my 20s. And I gave that up because it was just for nothing. Like I just got to the point where I thought, what am I doing? This is for nothing. There's got to be more to life than this, because I'd got everything, I'd got like this 6-bedroom house. I'd got a new car. I just got everything. I was working term time too, so I could have the holidays off with my kids. I was going on holiday like 3 times a year. I had everything that society said I should want, and I wasn't happy. And it's like, well, if I've kind of done everything that they say that I should do in life already, and I'm still in my 20s, what's the point in being here? Do I really need to stay another 60, 70, 80 years and do the same thing over and over again? It's not even making me happy. There's got to be more to it. And so I gave it all up. And because when I started meditating, of course, with that very strong question inside of me, there's got to be more to life than this, because I don't actually want to stick around if this is all there is. Then I was shown magic, complete magic, and that of course there's so much more to life, and set me off on a completely different path. But my point is, I thought that it was me being in that job that was bringing my abundance to me, right? What I found was when I quit it and started doing things that I wanted to do, like traveling and then doing voluntary work in Uganda, and I started living life for me. The abundance and everything carried on. It carried on from different places. So it was the universe that was giving it to me after all. it wasn't that my control of the job kind of thing. And so I know I find it in my business too. The more I rest, the more I focus on myself, the more it works for me. So that's what your higher self is asking for you to do. Things will start flowing when you rest more, because it's an indication of self-appreciation. Cool. Janji says, oh my God, I've been working on self-love. I got that message a few days ago. Thank you. You confirmed it. Yeah, self-love all the way. Hey, Renee. Hey, Amanda. Wow, Amanda, I used to read for you like years ago, like at the beginning of the healing. Oh, the cat's coming out, actually opening the door. Bag, sorry. Mayreed. Am I saying your name right, Mayreed? Chris Robertson, what's my message? Oh, yeah, I don't know what bag sorry means. I missed your previous message, obviously. Chris Robertson. That's coming out. It's weird. I've got side doors right behind this computer, and I'm noticing them like opening. Chris Robertson, your higher self is asking you to meditate, to be more aware of your thoughts, right? There's thoughts and there's thoughts. Thoughts. So I can obsess about things in my life, men usually, and those are my thoughts, right? It's my mind making things up, going into fantasies and thinking on that, right? But when, and that's not useful, none of it's useful. I go into meditation, and when I get to a certain connection level in meditation, so I get to a certain state where I'm not going off into those fantasies, not going off into those usual thoughts, and I'm really connected in with my higher self, then the thoughts that I get are very different. They're on a different wavelength, and I can feel that now because I've been meditating for so long. And of course, like even my work is doing that. I can tell when I'm giving readings for people, it's the same. You know, it's the thoughts that I'm getting. They're not from me. I couldn't make this stuff up, hey? So yeah, so meditation for you, Chris, will help you to discern the difference between those two thoughts. What thoughts are coming from your mind and what thoughts are actually coming from your higher self or from people around you. So we're like, our brains, right? I used to be a neurotherapist, and that's someone who does EEG therapy on someone. So I used to put electrodes on people's heads and listen to the EEG, watch it on a computer screen, have them play games and stuff. Did that for a few years, and what I noticed with that is the brain it's like it wants to be on the same wavelength as everyone around it, first of all. So what I noticed is my state when I had a client with me affected them. Yeah. So if they were doing the therapy and I started meditating or started my healing thing, which is another form of meditation, it would affect their EEG. Their EEG would go down, it would get really good. And so their brain is trying to sync with me, just being sat next to them in the room. Also, yeah, so that's the main thing. That's one of the main things that I learned from that. Now, what I've learned since that, with my kind of exploration into metaphysics and just the power of our minds and the power of our energy in myself and doing readings with other people too, is we don't just try and sync our vibration kind of thing like that. So our heads are like transmitters and receivers. They're receiving the vibration that other people have, but they're also receiving the thoughts that other people have too. So, or thoughts that are in a certain place. So have you ever had this? Have you ever driven down a road and then suddenly you're thinking about having a car crash and you're like, where did that come from? It came from that road. It came from people that have had car crashes at that place that you went past when you received that thought, right? And so that makes it three kinds of thoughts. You've got thoughts from other people, that are attached to things or places that you receive. You've got your thoughts from your higher self that you receive, and you've got your thoughts that you are creating as well. And so, yeah, meditation is the only way to get connected with those higher thoughts from your higher self. Yeah, Louise Hay, Crystal. Louise Hay was called Vera Lundgren or something like that. And I think it was in the 80s that she changed her name to Louise. And then she got married. Interestingly enough, she got married to, I don't know what the L standard for either, so Louise L. And then she got married to a guy called Andrew Hay. And my ex-husband's called Andrew Hay. That's why I'm called Hay. I was born Claire Louise Hayes. Weird, huh? Married. Okay, what can you pick up, please? Married. Oh. Your higher self is saying don't sabotage things by not being grateful for them. Right. Some people do this, and I've done this in the past too. You know, when you get something of what you want, but it's not everything that you want, and then you're like, oh, I can't be too grateful for this because I actually want more. I want more than this, right? Your higher self is saying that you're doing that. You're not allowing yourself to be fully grateful. So money's a great example with this one. So say you want $1,000. So somebody wants $1,000, right? This guy, he wants $1,000, and he's asking the universe for $1,000, and then there's a dollar on the road, and he doesn't pick it up, and he's like, I want $1,000, I don't want a dollar. And then somebody offers him $100, and he's like, no, I don't want $100, I want $1,000, right? That's insane, isn't it? Because before long, he would have the $1,000 if he said yes to it all and was grateful for it all. So don't stop the gratitude because it's sabotage when you do. By pushing away part of what you want, it doesn't bring more of what you want toward you. So let that gratitude flow. Well, oh, Sally. Sally, hi Claire. If possible, I'd love a wee reading on my life changes showing up in the form of a new follow or anything else the spirits would like to share with me through you. Thank you so much for just being you and being here. That came up in my meditation this morning as well, so thanks for the confirmation there, Sally. Yeah, in my meditation this morning, it was all about me being me, which I've been doing for years in this business, you know, but now to connecting with other people too more. Okay. This is about relationships, Sally. There's past stuff that isn't cleared out yet, and so this stops new relationships from coming in. Is when we've got past stuff that isn't cleared up, and in fact, new relationships can come in, but they tend to be a mirror of what we haven't let go of yet. You know, it's like, you know, the person. So a simple example of this is somebody who, say, a woman who's been cheated on, and she really hates guys because they're all cheats and shit. You know, we all know someone. We've all got a friend like that, and then they just keep on meeting cheaters, of course, because they've not cleared that in themselves, and so they keep on meeting the same. And so for you, you've got a similar thing going on, but it's more about communication and it's about facing things. So you wanted someone who's really open and can communicate with you, but you're not yet wanting to actually do that with them. So you're resisting doing that yourself. There isn't a perfect relationship out there. A lot of people think there's a perfect relationship and that they don't need to work on their relationship skills. But it's not true. And so if you focus more on the relationship skills, in particular, communicating in adversity, communicating when there's problems, facing situations and communicating, doing that in any of your relationships, and forgiving those that mirrored back to you your reluctance to actually do that, so to actually face conflict and communicate through it. Then you move forward. Renee, Wells, Arnott. I'm sure your higher self has got a message for you. I've never not been able to read for anyone. I've refused to read for people before. There's two kinds of people that I refuse to read for. One is the people that want proof that I can do what I do. They want convincing that it's actually real. I mean, I'm not wasting my gift on that. That's just stupid. So I won't read for people like that. Other people I won't read for have very aggressive energy. And it's like, do you really want to feed the dog that's about to bite you? You know, there's some dogs that you just don't go up to, and I feel that in their energy, and I refuse to read for them. Oh, Rennie. So yeah, apart from that, I read for everybody. Renee, your higher self says you have so many strong people around you, and that's because you're really strong too, and you need to start owning that. You're really courageous. Yeah, so focus on your strengths, focus on what you're really good at, and notice when people are around you, you're always attracting a reflection of yourself. That's how the universe works, right? So if you're seeing it in other people, it's a part of you too. So own that. I know it can be really tempting, especially for women. It can be really tempting to look at people around you and think that they've got it all sorted and they're all right and that they're great at these things, and not actually recognize it in ourselves. What if you don't feel it, May Reed? Was that the self-love? There's so many messages I won't even probably see your response to that. You're welcome, Nina. Hi, Tina. Oh, Kate. Husband's family from Egypt. Irish from Margaret. Oh, really? May Reed. Hey, Karen. Good to see you too. I hope you don't mind me sharing, Karen, but I did, you know how I do like the mini readings, the type readings. I think it was a couple of months ago. It was a few months ago now, because I remember the situation I was in. And the cards that I pulled out for Karen in it, they were just like, it was just totally my situation. So I actually connected with Karen after I gave that reading to share our stories, because we were in like exactly the same situation as each other. It was nice to, when you attract someone that is kind of experiencing the same things as you and on a really similar path like that. Karen. Okay. This was the same message that someone else got, or part of it, before. When you're feeling overwhelmed, it's because you're trying to do the impossible. So you're either trying to get the wrong people to love you, people that haven't got that self-love for themselves, so they can't love in that same way anyone else, or you're trying to get respect off people that have no self-respect and are trying and can't respect others, or you're trying to get, say, money from people that don't have money, or you're trying to do the impossible. And so let that sink in. Every time you feel overwhelmed, you're trying to do the impossible. So ask yourself why you're trying to do that, especially around people. What is it about those people that you want to change in them to try and get what you want from them? Maybe. Hello, niece. Just when things are perfect, it's gone. Everything fleeting. Isn't that life, huh? Can't hold on to anything, and the more we surrender, the easier it gets. Okay? So Tina, don't just allow life to throw random things at you. Decide what it is that you want and actually set off in a path. And that's just a decision. Like, decisions are so important. It's like intentions, decisions. It's like, now I am going to have the best relationship, right? So, for example, that's one of my decisions now, is I'm going for the best. And that decision in itself is really strong in me, and it gets the universe in, it starts bringing those aspects of people forward for me to see what the best is for me in other people. Also, it brings up the stuff that I've not cleared too, so people will show me not the best and things that I don't want. And so, yeah, once you've made a decision, notice what is being brought to you, and then you can clear those things. It's especially about clearing for you, Tina. It's like things come and go, yeah, and it's all about surrender, but you've got to notice the universe will take away what isn't right for you, because once upon a time you actually made a decision and then you kind of backed down from that decision. You didn't stick with it because you didn't think it was possible or it wasn't happening fast enough. So make clear decisions. Don't just let the universe throw all kinds of things at you. Hey, Glenn. I'm absolutely loving what you're doing, Glenn. I don't know when you joined this, what time you joined it, but I quit alcohol a few months ago and changed my life. Like, it's changed my life. I'm going to write a blog about it soon. If anyone doesn't know, Glenn Manzar, he writes books about quitting drugs and helps people in amazing ways. And Glenn, I remember reading for you years ago too, when you're even just starting that journey. Huh? Wow. I had another customer as well who reached out to me a few weeks ago. She had a breakthrough session with me. So yeah, if you don't know about my readings, I generally type them in, but I also give breakthrough sessions too. They're all available from behealing.com if you want more information, or you want to book a reading with me, a full reading. But yeah, breakthrough sessions are on Skype, right? And so it allows us to get a lot deeper into people's issues and to actually clear them in that session with help of their higher self. And so this one customer, she had a session with me, and she had some really specific questions to ask about higher self. And so we went through all of that. And part of it was about a book. And she'd written this book but wasn't ready. There was something in her that wasn't ready to publish it yet. And so I checked in with the higher self, and it's like, yeah, it needs changes. It's not in your highest. She'd grown since she'd written it, let's put it that way. And so it wasn't a reflection of her, of what she knew then. And so her higher self told her what needed to be added and how it needed to change. So she did that anyway. So she got in touch with me a couple of weeks ago saying that the book's published now. And just as in the session, she'd made those changes to the book and she's published it, and it's way bigger than she expected it to be, the response from it. It's so cool. So yeah, she's given me a copy of that, and I've still got a couple of books to read yet, but once I've read it, I'm going to interview her and share that with all of you too. Sally says, Claire gave me a distance healing a while ago and it was amazing. Highly recommended service. Thank you, Sally. Yeah, I love doing the energy healings. But the energy healings are the different. So any of you have had energy healings before, or like Reiki or anything like that? Mine are very different. So mine are led by the higher self. And it's like I pick up what's going on in the body. It's like a reading energy healing. So picking up what's in the body and actually telling you in a report what energy is going on in there, what the reasons are, how you can release it yourself, and using the energy work to help you do that. Because in reality, the energy work, it can't work unless you're making the changes yourself, you know. It's like if you gave somebody an energy healing for depression, if they still have those patterns in their consciousness that are causing them to be depressed, then it's just going to come back. It's not going to change. But the combination of the two, the information about how you can release it yourself and the energy, and it's really powerful. You're welcome, May Reed. Rosanna, I picked these cards out, but I don't know who they were for. Did I say someone's name? Hey, Glenn, maybe they were for you because I was talking about you. Yeah, I was talking about you when I pulled these cards out. Resisting abundance, keeping yourself down. Yeah, a lot of people have this. Hey, so a lot of people resist abundance by not wanting to surpass their family. So, say maybe you can't earn more than your dad or that rich uncle or whatever, or you can't earn more than the people around you, your peer group, your tribe. Yeah, none of that's true. You know, that resistance, it's not useful because nobody wants everyone to be like, really, abundance is for everyone, you know. Wouldn't it be amazing if everyone was completely open to abundance and just allowed everything that they want into their lives? Awesome. So yeah, don't don't resist abundance to fit in with those around you or those that have been around you, Glenn. Amy, I did one for you already. Really good at this work. Do you have? Yes, I have written something they read. I've got 8 published books. So if you go to behealing.com, that's behealing.com, you can download one of my books for free. That's my latest book. I wrote that 3 years ago, I think. My life's very different now, but yeah, it's great. About how I manifested the amazing life that I was living then. And then I was living on a yacht, and it was an awesome experience. It was an amazing lifestyle. But it caused me to want I felt isolated on it. Hey, it's just me and my boyfriend at the time, and I felt really isolated on it. I missed having community around me. I missed having women around me. It made it. I liked the island thing because, of course, we were sailing around and we're stopping off at all these islands. It made it really clear to me that I needed the right community for me and the island thing. And here I am now living on this little island, which is 8 kilometers by 3 kilometers. It's a tiny little thing, really. And I love it here. It's just, and the community is, as soon as I got here, I knew it was where I'm supposed to be. Community is amazing. So yeah, and my other books are all available on Amazon and Kindle. Amanda's up next. Dickerson. Amanda, your higher self is saying that you've got a disrespectful story going on. Not you disrespecting people, people disrespecting you. You've got this story going on that you're not respecting, and that story, the universe is always going to match our stories. Any story that we're saying to ourselves, you know, it's like the whole poor me story. You know, everyone knows people that are the poor me, complain about everything and always feel really bad, and of course they never attract anything good in their lives, and even if they do, they'll turn away from it. And so in the same way, you've got this lack of respect story going on. The way to get out of that, stop telling that story, be open to being respected, and then work on your self-respect. So what can you do to respect yourself? And that involves being empowered, like saying no, having boundaries. Self-respect is all about having boundaries and going for what you want and not getting distracted by what other people want from you and things like that. Hey, Marianne. Marianne, your higher self says it's overwhelming when you think of the whole thing that you need to do. So say you want a mansion, right? You want a mansion, and then you think, oh, I'm going to have to make the bricks, I'm going to have to buy the land, I'm going to have to clear the land, I'm going to, you know, if you start thinking of everything that you've got to do and that you have to do it all yourself, you're never going to get that thing. So you overwhelm yourself by looking at the the bigger picture too much and thinking you have to do it all, and you don't. So just take what's in front of you one step at a time, okay? Don't overwhelm yourself. Happiness is so important, May Reed. So important. The happier we are, it shows that we're thinking right when we're happy. We've got the same perspective as our higher self. So our emotions reflect how our higher self thinks about things. So when we feel really bad, it's that the way that we're thinking is not aligned with our higher self at all. And when we feel great, it means we're in alignment. Leslie Hadley, hello. Leslie, your higher self says, you've got great awareness. Oh, there's an eagle flying past. Oh, it's too bright for you to see it. I can see it in the reflection of the window. We have these eagles here that have got white tips on the wings. They're beautiful. Leslie. Okay, your high self says you've got great awareness, especially around your growth. So you're self-aware. You're aware of other people's growth too and how they need to grow. Just praise. Your higher self is praising you. You've got great awareness. So own that awareness, realize that. I know a lot of people, because I work a lot with healers and psychics, people who are empathic. A lot of people that have got these gifts can turn it on themselves so that they want to change people with it instead of using it for themselves and then sharing it, which is very different, right? So when you focus that the world is a bad place and that everyone needs to do this same thing, and everyone, here's another one, and so many healers have this, that everyone should be aware. Like, awareness is the most important thing. Like, imagine if a plumber said plumbing is the most important thing. Everyone should be a plumber. Like, why should I go around to people's houses and put their toilets in? Everyone should be able to do that. You know, and if everyone could have that perspective that what they're good at, everyone should be good at, and it's not useful at all. And it's what trips a lot of people up is the awareness thing. Of course, it's obvious when we think about plumbing that that's not true, but awareness, it's like, shouldn't everyone be aware? Well, no. Everyone's got different gifts. And we need plumbing, right? We don't want self-aware plumbers. Tanya Cook. My laptop is running out of charge. Just letting you know. Tanya. Ooh, this is a good one. Your higher self is saying to empower yourself. And when you try and do that, you start second guessing yourself and doubting yourself. Right? So I'm imagining this scenario now where you're empowering yourself. So someone asks you to do something and you don't want to do it and you say no to them. And you know that that's right in that moment. You know that you're making the right decision and that you've empowered yourself right then. But then afterwards, you're like, oh, I should have done it for them. I shouldn't have said no. I should have been nice. And then you can totally doubt yourself. This is a lesson about being in the moment, right? You know when you're empowered in that moment. It's like, I went out with this guy really early this year. And he's a lovely guy, he really is. But there was a certain point where he said something to me that made me realize that I couldn't be in that relationship anymore. And it was like, in that moment, I just knew. And I walked away. I physically walked away from him in that moment. I said, I can't be here anymore. I can't do this anymore. And I walked away. And he said afterwards that he wanted to talk about it. But I just knew in that moment that that was it. And when I was walking home, I was questioning myself. I'm like, why do I feel really good? Like I've just ended a great relationship. How is it that I'm feeling really good and really happy? And that's because I was totally in that moment. I'd made exactly the right decision, and yeah, to not question that. So don't question yourself when you're being empowered, and be in the moment more. Really, I think I did you already, did I? Niece. Niece in Nashville. Cool. Thanks for stumbling across my video. You know about neurotherapy, do you, Mary? Yeah, it's powerful stuff. But of course, when I was doing it, I noticed that my other stuff was way more powerful. Like I'd be doing energy healing with them, and I'd be giving them messages from the higher self. Because before I started doing this professionally, like I've been doing this for a long time now, I used to do it under the radar. I used to hide behind other therapies and then like give people readings without them knowing they were having readings. How funny is that? I wasn't earning it. So funny. Hello, Mickey. Cool. I love doing these things. I'm so glad that everyone loves them too. Yeah, and so I'm going to be doing these regularly. So just make sure I think you can click and say you get notified when I'm going live, because I have that for something that I watch regularly. Marcella would love a reading about career change. Ooh, changes. I like change, of course, until it happens and then I resist it like everyone else. Changes are hard, aren't they? We want them so much, and then when it happens, it's like, oh, change. Oh, this isn't comfortable. Stress. I get stressed with change. I really shouldn't, because all the changes have been great in my life. It still stresses me out though. Marcella. It's not time for action right now. Your higher self is saying that there's stuff that you need to clear. So if you're wanting a career change, it's because you're not happy in the career that you've got at the moment, right? And when you're focused on what you're not happy about, you can't do anything but get more of that. Like the example before of relationships, we've all got that one friend who's been cheated on and just hates man and goes on about them cheating and can only attract cheaters. Same thing when you're going on and on with other people or inside of your head about what you don't like about what you're doing. It doesn't help. Download a copy of my book, Having It All. It's free on behealing.com, because in that I explain the thing that's worked for me is the perspective that's worked for me is, this is great when I'm ready to move on. This is great. Like I'm telling the universe, this has been really great. Focusing on all the good things about it. Now show me better, or but now I want to have this experience. Yeah, it's like noticing, because the career that you're in at the moment, it will have been what you wanted in the past, and so when we're appreciating what we have manifested already, it's a great place to be in. So don't focus on what you don't like about what you're doing at the moment. Focus on what you love about it, then ask for more. Do you see anything around me or any shapes? Niece. Niece, your higher self says you got to let go of things that are completed. It's like you're dragging around things that shouldn't be in your life anymore. People, it's like trying to keep relationships going that really aren't worth it. I've let all my family go. I've lived in a lot of places because I'm really good at letting go. And when you're on this path of evolution, of self-evolution, there's not that many people that are on that same path, and you've got to let everyone else go. You've got to let people go along the way. So just let things go that are completed. Don't try and hold on to them. And then include yourself in where you are headed. Yeah. Include yourself with those kind of people and stuff. Love. Marcarial Bustos. Me, please, about love. Love. Okay. You're being offered love already and you're not accepting it. How's about that? I know that one. Yeah, your higher self is saying that you're being offered love already and you're not allowing it in. So be aware of that. What's scary about it? Why won't you let it in? That's been one of my lessons in the last 2 years since living here. Oh, that's so much more loving now. It's great. Of all kinds. Tracy Marie. Every time I see that spelling, my head says Trekkie. I call you Trekkie in my head. So Trekkie, your higher self says that you need to be vulnerable in order to let the change in that you really want. It's like wanting changes, but then having all of your armor on. It's like saying something like, "Oh, I really want someone to love me," but then staying in all the time with full armor on and a baseball bat and then hitting people that approach you. It's that kind of thing. It's like you can't do that. You've got to be vulnerable. So you can choose the changes, but then you've got to be open and vulnerable for that change to come in. Excuse me. Hey, Janine. Hey, Diane. Good to see you here. Teresa Onken. Yes, I can give you a reading. Your higher self, your higher self says you've got a problem with believing that you're good enough. And so it wants you to look at what is manifested in your life already. You've been good enough for that, right? And so if you look at what's manifested in your life already, know that it's a reflection of how you feel about yourself and really appreciate the things that are in your life, love those things that are in your life, then translate that into you are already good enough because that's manifested. And that will help you to feel even more good enough for what you want coming in. Tony's up next. Tony, your higher self is asking you to forgive yourself, but not in the way you've been trying to forgive yourself. Motorbikes around. Yeah, not in the way that you've been trying to forgive yourself. Find a new approach to that. So just be open to a new approach. Ask the universe, okay, what I've been doing hasn't allowed me to forgive myself properly. So show me how to forgive myself. They're building a swimming pool for me. It's almost finished. And that work is going on there. So it's probably a good time to finish. Instead of trying to overcome the chat, whatever it is. Angle grinder. Thank you everyone for coming along. Remember, click on the thing so that you get notifications of when I'm live again, because I'm going to do these often. Also, if you'd like a reading from me, a full reading from me, my services are available on behealing.com, as is my book, my latest book, and my other books are available on Amazon. Thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks, Trekkie. Always good to see you, Trekkie. Bye.